So good morning. It's a lovely, slightly frosty morning, and just doing an anniversary tour of my allotment today. So this is the anniversary of the first day of planting last year. I got the allotment a month before that, and it was just some bare, weedy ground, and I've done a lot of work on it in the last year, and we're well advanced this year. As I say, this is the anniversary of the first day of planting. We've actually got a lot in the ground. So let's start. So down this side I've got my broad beans, a corn salad, raspberries, and loads of gooseberries around the perimeter of the site. And I've got these little hoop tunnels here, one meshed and one poly. They've got brassicas in them at the moment. And I've got these three coal frames, and I've got another one over there as well. And these narrow beds, which are got onions in them at the moment, and some peas at the end. And two big strawberry beds, my kind of little garden area with my lovely big cooking apple trees, and my ramshackle shed. So let's take a look at the coal frames. So these are all hinged coal frames. They've just got polythene stretched over the top, and the hinge lids just unscrew and can be stored away during summer when no protection is required. This bed's quite deep actually. It's dug down 6 inches and then raised up, but it is going to be raised up another tier to be a hotbed. Because the other hotbed I've got has been very successful. So this veg in here is all overwintered. This is new salad that's just been planted about a month ago. So that's another of the coal frames. The coal frames have lots of different opening positions. So it's not windy today, so I've just opened it on one of the big props. But these big props turned round are very, very stable. The lids are very, very stable, so even on a windy day they can be left open. And then there's the little tiny supports there, which I use at night time, and during the day as well when it's not too sunny. So most of this veg is overwintered as well, so it's not looking that particularly great. So this is a mostly newly planted bed, and it's looking pretty good. So mostly salads in here with some early spring onions down the side there, and some lovely spinach, lots of early beetroot, lots of new oak leaf salad. This bed was planted about a month ago. It's doing really nicely. And then this early radish in here, interplanted with carrots, and some overwintered rhubarb chard at the back. So I've got my main bean frame. I get a very good view of that from here, but it's rather large. And these poles are still alive. So I let them grow last year, and so they're rooted in the ground. I'm going to kill them this year. Burn off the buds after a few months of extra growing. So they're really nicely well planted and can withstand really bad winds. So I've got a netted cage. I'm not really sure whether that's much use, but I'm going to do what I did with this one, which is replace it with EnviroMesh. It's pretty good having the net on the chicken wire on there, because it supports the EnviroMesh when the weather's bad and when it's snowing and whatever. And I've done that with that frame over there. That's stood up really well with the chicken wire and the mesh on top. This bed I mainly use for carrots. So then let's have a look down here. So these are all netted. They're all hinged. and they open really easily. So they're really convenient, and they all lean on each other like this. So they're really easy to open and crop from. So these are polytunnels. These have been amazingly good. Again, these are all hinged. And you can see the support system and how it works on these. You can move these supports backwards and forwards to get a greater degree of open and closing. But in winter or early spring like this, this is about as far really as they need to open. Get loads of ventilation when they're open like this. This is a newly planted bed. This was planted about 6 weeks ago. I've got my asparagus bed that was only planted last year. Well, everything was planted last year, so we're just starting to see the first little asparagus shoots here. And this is an experimental bed, this polytunnel. I planted this one in December from plugs, and it's done amazingly well. I mean, I've been cropping from this for well over a month now, and it's just been fantastic. I've had so much salad off here. I would never believe that you could plant in December, but with a bit of fleece and the polythene cover, it just worked great. My kale. This has never been netted, this kale, and it's done way better than the kale that I did net. So I'm going to experiment again this year with not netting some of the kale, see how it does. My peas, which are doing quite nicely now. Built a little windbreak because we do get quite a lot of wind here, and although it's not that cold, I think windbreak makes a difference. So this is my hotbed. So the other bed back there that we've already seen is going to be converted into a hotbed. Just add another tier of woodwork. It's dug down 6 inches, so it's actually quite a deep bed. It's doing amazingly well. This was planted again about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and again it's doing splendidly. We've been cropping this for well over a month. Lots of radishes, lots of lettuces, radishes at the back, lots of really great beetroot, clumps of beetroot here. The pak choi is just kind of going to seed a little bit, but that's fantastic as well. There's more beetroot and more radishes everywhere in here. I started cropping the radishes now. Really great crop of radishes here. So the downside about the hotbeds is they need to be emptied out of the compost every year, but that's actually not too bad because you just unscrew the backs of these boards and then you can shovel all of the manure out, and then when it comes to filling it again you can just unscrew the backs and just barrow the horse manure in. So this works really well. And there's just more beds. These are planted up with radishes. They will eventually have different crops in, but we're just taking a quick radish crop off these first, and then leeks will probably be going in this bed eventually. I've got more radishes in this bed here, and lots of spring onions in here as well. And then this is the kale that was originally protected by nets, and the purple sprouted broccoli, of course. Who could be without that? It's starting to go to seed now, but still pretty good. Some of my other netted frames. This has just been planted with beetroot and some brassicas, but these brassicas are just cut and come agains, and they'll be out of the ground soon. They'll just be eaten for salads for a couple of months, and then carrots will go in here. And then this is the last of the cold frames, and this is all overwintered, almost all of it's overwintered. So we've been picking from here since September. It's doing very nicely. I've got a little pear tree here, a little ramshackle shed, 2 big water butts. I need more really, because growing over winter, there's not a lot of rain falls on that little tiny shed roof, and there's no tap water on the site over winter. So there we go. That's a little introduction to my plot.